Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of Create, Automate, and Scale podcast. I'm your host, Sophie Riley. I am an automation nerd, a business strategist, and CEO and founder of the VIP Hub, an all-in-one marketing software. Now, this is the place where we dive deep into strategies to help you build, streamline, and scale your business.
Hi, and welcome to Create, Automate, and Scale podcast. Tune in to this inspirational, straight to the point, relatable content for entrepreneurs to help you mastermind the everyday hassle, give you business tips, networking opportunities, shameless money talks, and scaling secrets. Created to support you, to support coaches and course creators just like you, to help you take action. Stop trading dollars for hours and explode your business. It's time to hit that six-figure and beyond. Let's go.
Today, I am super excited to introduce a special guest who brings the perfect mix of detective skills and scientific precision, Patty Wood. Patty, aka the OPS detective and workflow scientist, is known for creating tiny tools, mini makeovers, and simple support strategies that neurodivergent solopreneur swears by to take their daily biz duties to fork this to fork yes. In this episode, Pivot Your Biz Model Without Losing Your Mojo, Patty will walk us through 4 simple strategies to help you reboot your business model without the burnout. You'll learn to lay down the leverageable legacy work, position your pivot for success, and stay true to what makes your business uniquely yours. So grab your notebooks, you're going to need it because this is going to be packed with values. Let's go.
Hello. This is how to lay down your leverageable legacy work during a business model pivot without losing your fire or your mojo and still sell, fulfill, and enjoy the ride. Hi, you rebellious ones. I see you there burning your path through the overgrown grass fields known as online entrepreneurship. And if you're considering or in the process of rebooting your business model, we are on the same path. So stick around for my take on what it takes to pivot without burying yourself in the process. It's me, Patty Woods, app strategist and workflow scientist for neurodivergent entrepreneurs, and also the leader of the Unfuck Your Daily Apps Rebellion, just in case you're new here. Neurodivergent entrepreneurs seek me out to make their businesses beautifully basic to manage, market, and morph. Because myself, I'm a recently diagnosed ADHDer who needed fit-for-me proven frameworks to reboot my own business. And I've partnered with owners for 16 years to build feasible, sustainable, viable businesses that account for their lagging executive functions. Today, I'm here to cut through the noise of the chosen few who push their bloated, big team, big infrastructure, entrepreneurial models onto everyone as gospel. It's time to build a model that allows you to sell, fulfill, and enjoy the ride in the process. So let's get at it. For starters, what you need to know is that you can build from zero your way in 4 simple-ish but intentional steps. Yeah, they're all anagrams, which I'll explain in just a sec. But let me just hit on each of them. First, you're going to need an MVP to set your course, OPAs to build your sounding booth silo, PPNT to go low lift, and BIPs to track true to use. So let's dig into what each of those are. Starting with your MVP. It's not minimum viable product, most valuable person, it's your minimum viable plan, right? And it's your way of deciding the minimum viables that suit your current life stage, energy, bandwidth, skill set, and time, and serve your market the most without overwhelming them or burning you out in the process. It's a minimal ecosystem that aligns with your values and desires to the core. So what's your bare minimum? Time, attention, clients, duties, aka what are you willing to give to get your new biz baseline that lights you up and is worth showing up for, even on your low energy bandwidth days? And next, you get to define the minimum expectations you have in mind in order to meet your MVP. So what do you have in mind for your offers, your overhead, the proof of concept you want with the number of sales and reviews, your measurable results with case studies, revenue to pay your bills, plus a little left to reinvest, save, and enjoy. AKA, this is what you're minimally willing to accept as you deliver on what you're willing to give to decide on what to do next. Because once you know these things, you can use them to inform whether your pivot or business model reboot feels like a success. In other words, did it allow your passionate pursuit to serve at your highest and greatest good to claw its way to the surface, to live and to breathe? Or was the experiment a bit of a flop? Maybe in need of a few tweaks so it feels good for you to show up and do it again. Because it's all intel. It's all an experiment. And as you work through your lab book, you'll undoubtedly find some great big wins, along with a handful of what the fuck was I thinkings? Which leads me to a couple wins from my own lab report to share. One excellent way that I found to build the business you want most is with OPAs, right? And OPAs will allow you to create a silo of the people you know you most want to serve by leveraging other people's audiences. Forget the noise about needing to do everything and be everywhere and do it all. It's more about knowing how to get in where you fit in. And it starts by connecting to those online owners and potential business buddies that you actually respect. The ones who treat you right whenever you show up in their ecosphere as a potential client or customer. It's about finding your crew and making moves that won't drain you, so you keep your energy intact while you row. It's being there for the opportunity to serve their audience's needs, seeing if there's a gap that you can fill. And it's also reciprocity at its finest, like showing up and being a bundle participant, for example, or show up and speak on a summit like this one, write a guest blog post, guest teach, contribute to a live, wherever it suits you to show, and whatever feels good to do it. Write a takeover email. You can do it. It doesn't have to be something that you have to pay to do. It could be something that costs you nothing but your time and attention and your goodwill. This is exactly how I built my own list from 24 to 1,600 plus strong in 9 short months just this year during my major model pivot from captive one-to-one ops agent to my leverageable legacy model by participating in bundles and summits where I could fill a gap for creators' audiences that audience needed filled, wanted filled. And the creator decided they were going to find a way to do it. Okay. Couple that with a third piece to building the business that you want, which is a preferred place and time. Actually, what that just means is choosing to show up in a low-lift way that doesn't feel forced, using your preferred place and time to do it. It's really important for people, especially who already struggle with prioritizing what activities are important in order to build their business, such as NDs, neurodivergence, who happen to be my ideals. And ultimately, what it comes down to is the business you want allows you to serve how you want to serve. So show up how and where you want. Make great money in the process by delivering phenomenal results for the people you serve. That sounds like an awesome definition of success if you ask me. But truly underneath that, my definition for success means I have pure autonomy, prosperity, and joy in what I choose to do. And I model it for my prospects and clients so they can enjoy that same kind of success by their own design in their business. And when I stay true to this directive, I cannot wait to show up, even on my low lift, low bandwidth, low energy days. I want to show up without burning out. Yet there's these chosen few who love to push this idea that you've got to be on every platform. You've got to show up 3 times a day. You've got to engage in the comments. You've got to build relationships all day long. Now, those last 2 are really great advice taken on the surface. However, you don't have to show up every day, and you don't have to show up on every platform all day long. What benefits you the most is to say, these are some platforms that I genuinely enjoy showing up on when I allow myself the time to just random scroll them, right? So make that decision. For me, I've made it a point not to hang out on social media too long or too many days in a week because it drains my energy and overwhelms my circuits. It fries me. So the places that I do enjoy most are usually LinkedIn and Facebook, sometimes Pinterest if I'm in a shoppy mood. But anyway, LinkedIn is more for keeping a pulse on what's happening in marketing and business operations and with neurodivergent creators. And Facebook is mostly for groups that I'm part of that I go into with the intention not to randomly scroll. I don't really use Facebook like a way of keeping up with my friends and family because any of those posts never make it to my feed when I'm on. And I'm on so infrequently. So I keep in touch with them the old school way. Texts, phone calls, really old school. And everyone's good with that. So when I do go on social media for maybe half an hour a week for each of these 2 platforms that I'm on, I have very specific ways that I use them. I go in specific places for partnership or ways that I can serve in a couple of business-oriented groups for small business owners and entrepreneurs, and another for bundles and summit contributors on Facebook. And then on LinkedIn, there are certain creators whose audience I know I'd love to leverage and I'd love to partner up with them, but also whose content I enjoy because the way they've always treated me and their stuff is great. It's genuine. And I've paid for some of and utilized some of their things and inserted them into my frameworks and I loved them. So as I'm on LinkedIn, that's what I'm generally doing, contributing to their posts where I can to fill gaps for them. And I'll only continue conversations if I feel like I have something of value to add, not just to please the algorithm, not just to get eyes on my name. And the funny thing about it is when I just show up where I have something of real value to contribute, 9 times out of 10, somebody contacts me, wants to connect, and wants to invite me to help them with something in their business, which to me is pretty bananas because of the limited amount of time that I'm on there and the very minimalist strategy that I follow. But it does work for me. Another part of that, of course, is being deep into pivoting and sorting through and releasing the noise to remove the bloat from what I've done this past year as I've pivoted, if nothing else, for my peace of mind and quality of life. That's what I really wanted to touch on here. It needs to be lower lift for me at this point in life because sometimes I have problems with internet. I'm in a remote location, relies on solar power. We entertain our grandson a few months a year, and I can't be ignoring him and just having it be him and his papa playing together all day long. I want to have some of that action. So that's why it's really important for me to stick to my PP&T. And one last thing about the socials for me as an introvert, but also as a highly sensitive person and, being neurodivergent, I'm building a brand where I'm the face and voice in the front of the house, so to speak. Personally, I'm not a front of the house, showy, look at me sort of person. I'm the front of the house person that says, let me be your partner. I want you to feel seen, heard, and understood when you see anything from me. I don't want you to feel like I'm showboating. And a lot of what I see happening on the social channels feels ick and showboaty to me. And I would just rather be real, genuine, and have connections and conversations that matter instead. On to the last strategy. It's called BIP, or Build in Public. And it's an experiment. And it's being transparent about it. And it's a whopper if you feel like you're up to giving it a shot. It's not anything new. The Build in Public strategy is a technique that's worked for a while in many different industries on quite a few media channels because it's just the ultimate window shop experience. It's a breakfast at Tiffany's, right? But here's what I'm doing. I'm creating an experiment and I'm letting you in on the details in real time as they unravel. I'm not making any pretense that you should trust me. I want you to see it as it's happening so that I can gain your trust and you can see me. It's possible you'll see pieces of you and who I am or how I do things. You can see the wins and the fails I go through to help you plan for what you might experience along the way if you attempt something similar. The whole goal of building in public is so that people understand your way of thinking, problem solving, and approaching solutions, so they can decide if the way that you relate to them is something that vibes. So when you get to the end of the piece of whatever puzzle you're building in public, you can invite them to stick around. So when you get to say, okay, you've seen all that went into this, and this is something I'm going to continue to optimize so I see predictable and repeatable results. Once I do, I'm going to offer this dialed in process as whatever type of program, a hybrid or a self-study course or whatever it is. And it'll contain all the details, the entire framework, and how to go from start to finish as, say, an evergreen program. Or I would love to start an accountability group, a mini mind, a group cohort where we show up together to learn, ask questions, and do this once a week. And I will be mentoring you. Or this is going to be the basis of my high touch one-on-one coaching, and I want to invite you to join. So if you enjoyed this and it resonates with you, and you want to add this strategy to your business, raise your hand to get on the wait list. Because I'd love to have you once it's ready, right? Those are all like the natural next step of after you've shown what you've done. Then you just invite them to get on the wait list and tell them in between, you'll keep them posted on progress and when to expect a rollout. So there's a few ways that you can position the future ask to buy, okay? And I mean, you've already invited them to get on the wait list, so they're going to raise their hand and they're going to be at an awareness and readiness level that's more likely to convert. But you can just basically approach it in this way. If the way that I think about and solve this problem to share it with you makes total sense, if you feel like you'll get incredible value from installing this process in your life to get this transformation, then I want you with me to make it happen. So just tell me, I got to know, when I have this framework dialed in to repeatable and consistent, do you want an invite to check out how to add it to your arsenal? No strings, just an honest beta invite. And if you want to get really courageous, you can say, hey, my goal is to launch this at a beta for X number of people and at Y dollars, right? That's how you get early feedback on implied market value and the readiness of your potential new enrollees to plop down their credit cards. You can even drop a private poll or public, depending on your tolerance level, with these choices, right? When you make that post, say, is it something, give them choices. Give them like 6 choices. One of them is, it's something I'm very interested in. Please let me know as soon as it's ready. Love it, but it's out of my budget at the moment. Want to know what's included before I decide for sure. Could be perfect, depending on the timing. And if you've got payment plan options. If I'm in if you do this as a, right, DIY done with you or one-to-one. And max I'd be able to pay is Z dollars, right? So it gives them options to reply to every objection already. So it's kind of writing your sales out for you. Anyway, it opens up a lot of ways for you to actually launch whatever it is you're building in a way that's well received, so that it's not crickets at lunchtime. So that's my take on why the build in public strategy is a keeper in any business growth playbook. It shows vulnerability, shows likability, trustability, authority. It's incredibly transparent. And when approached like the experiment that it's meant to be, it offers high levels of conversion because you're an open book, not a gatekeeper. And people love that. Okay. Now, on to the rest of the story. Here's my disclaimer. Those are the 3 ways that I recommend how to lay down your leverageable legacy work without losing your fire or your mojo while you sell and fulfill and still enjoy the ride. I chose these during my pivot because I'm an unmasking neurodivergent. I might be in a completely different life stage than you, and I'm definitely in a different stage than when I started my captive ops services. But these are time-tested strategies that can work for you if your ultimate goals are more autonomy, prosperity, and joy, rewarding you with more ease and time as you leave your best lessons behind in service of your people. That's it. That's all I got for you today. So what did I leave you with? A high-level overview strategy. And how do you act on that? How does it become your day-to-day, who you are day-to-day? Great question. If you check the links on this page, you'll see a few free resources to get you started along the path. One is actually free, and 2 are gifts that I've provided that I normally charge for in my store. The first one is the Pivot Prognosticator Quiz, and it's meant for you to determine if now is the right time to pivot your business model. If you're feeling stuck or like you have a higher purpose that you're trying to reach but haven't yet, you're feeling overwhelmed or on the edge of burnout, or any combination of those things, it's totally worth checking out to see what the Pivot Prognosticator tells you. And beyond that, the 2 templates that I've shared as a gift for you, you can work through some of what I chatted about today. First, the Pivot Possible Mind Map template. That is the MVP, right? You can use it to ask and answer questions that will help you refine what your ideal business model can look like. Because when you get clarity on your what's, why's, how's, you can root into what you want most for this iteration of your business during the reboot. It's one of the things that's actually included in my course, the Freedom Framework, which you may see if you complete the quiz. And it's an incredibly helpful place to start to shape your own MVP. My second gift to you is a framework that I created for you to start your own mini audit and offer ascension model rework. Basically, when you're considering a pivot, your minimum viable plan informs how to get where you want to be by knowing what you're starting with and knowing what problem you solve best, knowing your available solutions that you have for people who you attract and who you want to solve this problem for. And it all matters. So if you couple that with the preferred ascension pathway, offer progression roadmap template to make doing business with the right type of client for you and the way you want to do it, it'll become your new normal. If you want to reduce sprawl of too much choice for your prospects, cut down on both sales and fulfillment overwhelm, I'd recommend grabbing this template. It'll make it simpler, easier fulfillment experience for you and a more genuine and rewarding client experience for your intended customers once you get your ascension model straight. All right, that's all I've got for you today. If you've got any questions at all about minimum viable plans or your offer mini audit, send me an email at hey@luxuxme.com. That's hey@luxuxme.com. Otherwise, you'll be on my weekly newsletter tips list if you download any of my gifts. You can reply to me there anytime, and I'll be glad to chat with you. Till next time.
Thank you so much for tuning in to an episode of Create, Automate, and Scale. I hope you've gained some valuable insight from Patty's detective skills, and you can now feel confident about pivoting your biz model without losing your mojo. Before we wrap up, though, I want to remind you that Patty has an amazing free gift for you. On Fork, your business model pivot mighty mini pack. You can grab your copy right now. Just click in the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep creating, automating, and scaling your way to greatness. This is Sophie Riley signing off, reminding you to stay inspired, stay innovative, and always dare to dream big. Thanks for tuning in to the Create, Automate, and Scale podcast. We hope you found today's episode to be inspirational, informative, and straight to the point. Our goal is to provide you with relatable content that helps you mastermind the everyday hustle, grow your business, and achieve your goals. As an entrepreneur, we know how tough it is that it can be to navigate the world of business, which is why we're here to support you with valuable tips, networking opportunities, shameless money talk, and scaling secrets. We're dedicated to helping coaches and course creators take action, stop trading dollars for hours, and explode their business to hit that 6-figure and beyond. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast to stay up to date with the latest episode, and feel free to leave a review or reach out to us with any feedback or questions that you may have. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Create, Automate, and Scale.